All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob for Smirking Gun Reviews. We are back with more Ozark Season 1. We are up to Episode 8 called Kaleidoscope. Only 2 episodes left in this season. The new season starts August 31st, so we've only got just over 2 weeks before that happens. And here we have our symbols. If you have not seen the episode, I please tell you to go check it out and then watch this. This is our flashback episode. It takes place 10 years before the events of the show in season 1. And it's really structured very strange for a flashback episode because it's a non-linear flashback episode. So it doesn't take us back and then move forward in a straight line. It takes us back and then jumps back and forth to different perspectives. So we've got the perspectives of Roy Petty, the FBI agent, basically showing what he was doing before he, jumped into Marty's case. And then we have Marty and Wendy and Del and Bruce's relationship as they're on the cusp of deciding whether or not to be in business with each other. Or more like Marty trying to figure out a way to be in business with them, but also dealing with, on Wendy's side, dealing with the loss of a pregnancy. And it's kind of hard to completely disseminate this in a way, because the way it was done was to show the greatest dramatic effect of the end results and the choices being made throughout, back and forth, and showing consequences of decisions even back then that were affecting things in that current timeline. So with Roy, we see this complicated relationship he has with his mother. And that it's basically, kind of how he, I guess, sees his role as somebody who wants to stop drugs and drug cartels. And it has to do with the fact that he feels guilty at somehow feeling like he got his mother addicted to drugs. And it all starts with when she hurts herself. So you kind of have to figure out when was the moment that this flashback starts for Roy. And I believe it starts with when she falls and they take her to the hospital and she doesn't want to take any pain pills. And he kind of, he doesn't force her. She's a grown woman, but she's making a lot of noise, and he's like, come on, just take the pills just this one time. And it ends up bleeding to where his boyfriend noticing her later on, that she seems like she's on something, and then later just the progression that leads to him following her, dropping her off at a place and realizing it's a drug den where she's, addicted to heroin now. And so it doesn't tell it to you in that one very quick, long story. It goes back and forth in between things, showing different degrees of where the things were. Now, I get feeling bad that your mother was addicted to drugs, and maybe he feels like Del's heroin is the heroin that his mother got addicted to, but it doesn't exactly explain Del's obsession, how far he's willing to go to get Marty Bird and Del by, whatever, in connection to Marty. It doesn't really show why he's become that obsessed. I'd be upset if my mother was addicted to drugs too, but I don't know. I wouldn't start sleeping with suspects and creating elaborate ruses in order to get things done. I just don't think I'd have that in me. I'd have the imagination to think of it, but I don't think I could pull it off or want to pull it off. As far as Marty's story goes, it's just basically how in the beginning, you think that they want this baby, but really what they're trying to say is that they're trying to talk themselves out of a pregnancy that ends up being the choice being taken out of their hands due to an accident. So they're negotiating kind of like the life of their kid, like whether or not they want to keep it. And it correlates later with the when you connect that to how they are negotiating with each other kind of about taking the job to launder money. Like they're both trying to convince themselves of something that maybe they do or don't want. One's a pregnancy and one's a job that's with a drug dealer. And also, like, I like, how Wendy's feeling throughout this, and we don't quite know, what's the problem. I also like how Del, shows himself to, you think he's such a nice, warm guy, but it's all window dressing. It's all for show. It's all to get you to, buy into what he's trying to sell you, which is, in the end, yes, you make a lot of money, but you make a mistake and you're dead. And it doesn't matter how nice, like you can have all these fancy dinners and have trips with each other and seem like you have a great relationship, but the moment he feels like he's done with you, he will turn on you and rip your eyeballs out. Which at least explains where the eyeballs came from a couple episodes ago when they were in that jar. He said save them for a rainy day. So I guess that's like him warning Marty that this is where you're headed. We're going to rip your eyeballs out. All right, so I don't know where this comes in. I honestly don't. I can't remember. But they're always playing golf. That's Wendy's pregnancy test. And the pills would be the pills that Roy gave his mom. I really like seeing more of Bruce's background. But it's like, if Bruce knew, okay, Bruce knows what they're getting into. So, in the end, why would he be so stupid as to steal from this man? They saw him rip the guy's eyeballs out. So, I get, and Bruce doesn't seem, he seems like a womanizer and kind of the partier, the fun guy, the salesman. But he doesn't seem like he'd be stupid enough to be ripping off a drug cartel. But whatever, it's his story. And it's not like other episodes that have a lot of entertaining value to it. This is not an entertaining episode. This is just a big info dump that kind of explains, how we got to where we are. And the moral flexibility of everybody concerned, really. Like, Wendy has been on board pretty much from the get-go. It didn't take too much prodding to get her to go along with this. And it seemed like it was easier for her to agree to becoming a drug dealer or a money launderer, the wife of a money launderer, whatever, to deciding whether or not to keep a baby. Irregardless of the fact that the choice was taken from them by the car accident, it seemed like they were having like an easier time giving up a baby. Like their choice to give up a baby was just about as easy as taking a drug dealer's job. And that's all you really got to know about this episode. And then you've got that guy that was working with Roy that he's the one that got his eyeballs ripped out, and Marty took his job. And it is, it's really abrupt at how quickly Del just wanted to show them, like, yes, I gave you this nice shiny show, and now I'm ripping this guy's eyeballs out. And it immediately changes the relationship that you can't go back. Like, he is a deadly, deadly person, and it's all an act. Everything is an act with him. And now it's too late. The minute they walk in the door and say they're in, it's over. So anyway, that's really it for this video. I wish that this would have been more of an entertaining episode, but it's still it's a nice little background, and I like seeing more of Del. The actor who plays Del is really good. So anyway, that's it for this episode. It is entertaining. I can't wait to get to the next two. I'm glad that it'll be done before the premiere. And speaking of premieres, Disenchantment starts Friday. I will probably be doing like the entire series within 1 or 2 days. So starting this Friday, I will start having reviews up for Disenchantment. And yeah, that's about it. So this is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews saying if you like this video, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. We will see you on the next video, and have a great night. Bye.